So today, I'm going to read you a story from Clifford and the Small Red Puppy. Story and pictures by Norman Bridwell. And I'm sure you've heard this story before, but I'm running out of books. So, this one is Clifford and the Small Red Puppy. Hi, I'm Emily Elizabeth, and this is my dog, my big red dog, Clifford. One day, the man down the hall called us. His dog had puppies. He wanted to give me one. They must have lived in an apartment. One puppy was smaller than the rest. The man said, "Don't take him, he's the runt. He will always be small and sick, but I loved that puppy and he needed me." I named my puppy Clifford. He was so tiny that I had to feed him with a doll's baby bottle. We got the smallest collar we could find for Clifford. It was too big and he began to eat dog food. We had to watch him all the time. Because look what he did. His collar was too big. He was tripping on it. He fell in his bowl and he was eating and eating. He was so small that he was always getting lost, even in our apartment. Arf! Where do you think he's hiding? I think he's in the dad's shoe. Daddy said Clifford was just too small. He didn't think he could live through the winter. I was very sad. That night I told Clifford he would grow to be a big, healthy dog, and I told him I loved him. See, she has tears, and she loves her puppy. He's in the bed with her. Next morning, he looked bigger. He seemed to have an easier time eating his food, and his collar wasn't so big anymore. Look at that, the collar's getting smaller. In fact, by the time Daddy got home, the collar was too small. And there's Daddy came home from work. By bedtime, Clifford's tiny basket seemed a little too small for him. Uh-oh, she looks nervous in the bed looking at Clifford. So I let him sleep on my pillow again. Oh, as long as he's not too stinky, right? That was a mistake because he kept growing. Next morning, Mommy thought Clifford looked different. Daddy said, "I think he's growing." Now he's handing his bowl. He's so hungry. Look at him. He's very hungry. I decided to take Clifford for a walk. At the corner, I saw a big dog coming. I knew I could pick Clifford up so the big dog couldn't hurt him. I shouldn't have worried. Clifford was really growing, and I ran home to show Mommy how big he was getting. Had our apartment grown smaller? Daddy couldn't believe it. We put Clifford in the garden that night. In the morning, the lady upstairs called to us. It was about Clifford. Oh no, he's getting bigger and bigger. In fact, all the neighbors were starting to notice him. I think he's barking. The landlord called the police and they came to see Clifford. They said Clifford would have to go, but how? He couldn't go through the door. He's huge. Look at him. There was only one way to get him out of our garden. He had to get a crane from Balfour Beatty and have it haul him up over the buildings and out of the garden. We sent him to live with my uncle who lived in the country. They put him in a big truck. I was sad and I missed my puppy. Oh. And he missed me too. He was crying. Oh no. The end. One day we got a surprise. My uncle wanted Daddy to come work with him in the country. Oh, and we moved right away. See Clifford's tail from behind the building? He's hiding. Clifford was waiting for me. I said, Clifford, stop growing. You're just right. He's huge. So I said to Martha, that's how I got my dog. Tell me how you got your dog. And Martha said, oh, forget it. Because she probably didn't have the same kind of story as Clifford. And that's what happens, so you better not tell your puppies to grow big or they might grow into a big red puppy. Have a good day.